Hello viewers, so welcome to my YouTube channel. In this episode today, I'll be telling you about the ordeal, the not so good news, the not so good situation that asylum seekers in Canada face. Just last week, a lady from Kenya died while in the refugee camp, and 3 months ago, a Nigerian man died in a refugee camp. So that's what I'll be dissecting in this episode today. The ordeals that asylum seekers in Canada, especially Africans, because I'm more particular of Africans because I'm an African, right? That is what I'll be dissecting. What is the problem that they are facing? And for those that are outside Canada that wants to come to Canada to come and file asylum, how do you go about it? That's what I'll be dissecting in this video today. So I'm going to stay tuned. I will be back. Alright viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I still remember my humble self, MC Bernardino. This is Canada Reality, where I dish out content for those that are already in Canada and those that have aspiration to migrate into Canada. Is this your first time on this YouTube channel? Please do me the honor, subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, you always be among the first to get it. And if you enjoy this video, please smash on the likes button because it helps everything. Share our video with more people, and please endeavor to share this video with whoever you feel will actually benefit from this. Right, so as I stated in the beginning of this video, that I'll be telling you about this asylum seeker that died on February 23rd in Canada while in Mississauga refugee camp. But before I go into detail of this video to tell you about it, I just want to show you a video so that you can better understand what actually happened before I come further to explain more about it.
On Saturday, when a Kenyan woman arrived at this shelter in Mississauga, Ontario, she was told there was no room left. After 6 hours passed, Delphina Ngigi was allowed to spend the night in the lobby. Then on Sunday, 3 days after coming to Canada to claim asylum, she collapsed. Her cause of death unexplained.
She had to wait outside for a long time in the cold, and eventually she died. That we know.
Outside that shelter, community advocates held a moment of silence, saying Ngigi's death highlights urgent needs that Ottawa must address.
People don't leave their homes and come here to die. They come for some better life.
Last November, another asylum seeker died in the tent encampment outside that same shelter, leading some here to blame the Prime Minister for opening the door to more newcomers without proper resources.
So obviously from the video that you've just seen, that Delphina Ngigi, a 46-year-old Kenyan lady, died while in the refugee camp. So what actually happened was that she came into Canada February 15th, if I'm not mistaken, and on February 22nd, 23rd, she went to the refugee camp. Because what happened is that when you come into Canada to file asylum, there's actually a place that's being provided by the government of Canada where asylum seeker can live, you know. But the problem in the last 6 months, 1 year, is that this refugee camp, they are filled up. I mean, there are no spaces. People are sleeping on the street. So this particular lady, she went to Mississauga to the refugee camp, and on getting there, she got there around 1 o'clock on that Saturday afternoon, but she was not let into the refugee camp up until sometimes around 7 o'clock in the evening. So that means that she was outside in the cold. I mean, on that particular day, I don't know what the temperature was, but I know it could probably be in the very cold on that particular day. So she was left outside from 1 o'clock up until 6 o'clock in the cold. When eventually around 7 o'clock, based on the report we got, she was let in 7 o'clock. And when she was eventually let in, she was given a space at the lobby. So that shows that there's no even space for her. So they probably just gave her a space for her to pass the night at the lobby. So probably she passed the night over the night. The next morning, the report says that she was trying to take a bath when she slumped, and emergency ambulance was called. By the time she got to the hospital, she could not survive it. Rest in peace, Delphina. That is not really a good news, and she must have died as a result of the cold temperature that she endured while she was outside a day before for almost 6 hours. And who knows if she probably had an underlying illness before, and as a result of that, we lost her. Prior to this particular incident, I could remember November 15th last year, 2023, a Nigerian man also died at the shelter in Mississauga, this same shelter. So it is not really a palatable news that I'm bringing to you today, but I just want to bring this news to you people out there, those that are in Canada, those that are outside Canada, because this is more like the ordeal that asylum seekers in Canada now face. Because I remember there was a video that was done last year that stated the perilous situation that asylum seekers face, up to the extent that they sleep outside in the tent. I mean, in the summer, it might still not really mean a lot, but in the winter period, when the temperature outside is minus 10, minus 12, could be even minus 16 in Ontario, you sleeping outside, it's a very without a heater, oh my god, that could be very, very, I don't even wish that to my worst enemy. So I don't even know how to survive. So this particular man was sleeping outside in the 10 November, it was colder period too, and he also died. So when you look at the similarity between these two situations, you will see that coming to Canada to come and file asylum is not a problem. I mean, if you have a justification to come into Canada to come and file asylum, yes. I mean, if you are probably trying to run away from being killed from your home country, whatever the situation is, as far as you have a moral ground, you have a justification to come into Canada to file asylum, what I would just say is that it is better for you to have a very good preparation for yourself, because there's no point coming to Canada to come and file asylum and at the end of the day you end up paying with your life. The asylum, you could not even seek it, but you end up paying with your life. All right, so let me quickly show you another video that shows the not so palatable situation that asylum seekers in Canada face.
This is hardly the life Salih Najib envisioned when he left Uganda.
Did you expect to be sleeping on the street when you came back?
No, I didn't expect that.
Najib is seeking asylum in Canada. Everything he owns gathered around this tree.
I came with this.
Yeah.
This is my luggage.
Toronto's shelters are full. More than a third of the 9,000 beds are filled by refugees and asylum seekers. Those who can't get in are sleeping on the street.
My friends from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, many of us from Nigeria, we are here.
How many of you sleep here every night?
We are almost 100 plus.
Wow.
For the last 21 days, our brothers and sisters have been sleeping on the streets of Toronto.
Since May, the number of newcomers who called the shelter intake system and got turned away increased from 25 to 45%.
I see from this video, obviously, that asylum seekers are treated like shit. And it is not anybody's fault. I mean, you don't want to blame Canada government, the provincial government. The municipal is blaming the provincial government. Provincial government is blaming the federal government. Now, federal government is saying that they are going to bring in money, give money to the provincial government so that they can build more shelters for these asylum seekers. Because there's no moral justification in welcoming asylum seekers into Canada, and you are not preparing enough accommodation for them. And now this now goes to people that wants to come to Canada to come and file asylum. I mean, Canada, over the years that I've known, they welcome asylum seekers. I mean, if you have a problem wherever you're coming from, just because Canada feels that they are part of United Nations protecting human rights and dignity, they feel that you are always welcome in Canada. But Canada can actually do more in terms of providing accommodation for these people, because there's no point we in Canada saying that we're welcoming people and at the end of the day they are paying with their lives. They are undergoing some kind of not so good situation by not getting accommodation, sleeping on the street. That doesn't really portray Canada in a very good image. So going back to the issue, to the case of Delphina, the 46-year-old lady that died recently, it's not so good because the information we got is that she's a single mother of 4. All her 4 children are in Kenya. She just came into Canada a few weeks ago before her death just to come and file asylum. And probably her plan will be that if she can succeed with it, then she can try to file for her kids and they will join her in Canada. But it's so sad that instead of succeeding with the asylum plans, she paid with her dear life. She is gone now. So that led to many African communities, African countries, in Canada, trying to fight for justice for these people. I mean, they were all over the news trying to fight for them, saying that Canada should do better in terms of providing accommodation for people that comes to Canada to come and file asylum. So now let me now give an advice for people out there that wants to come into Canada. Your plan is that by the time you get to Canada, you want to come and seek asylum. I've done a video in the past. You can actually you can actually check my playlist to see the video that I've done on seeking asylum in Canada, how you can go about it. So what I will just tell you that if your plan is to come and seek asylum in Canada, it's not bad. I mean, if you have a justification, you have a moral justification for that, and you have everything well planned and laid out, you can actually do that. But it is better for you to come with a plan in terms of accommodation, in terms of feeding, and in terms of every other thing, because it will look so stupid of you to come into Canada and you try to seek asylum, and you get to the refugee camp and they tell you that there's no accommodation and you have to sleep on the street. I mean, it will be so stupid of you. So that's why it's better for you to have a backup plan. Maybe you have a family member, a friend, or you have enough money to get yourself accommodation, so that while you are seeking this refugee asylum claim, you can have a place to put your head. Because I know quite a few friends that came to Canada to seek asylum, and they have their own accommodation. They actually, when they go to the shelter and there was no accommodation for them, they actually seek their own accommodation themselves. And up until they were answered, they were okay. So this is me just telling you that if you plan to come into Canada, it's not bad. I mean, once again, I said that if you want to come and file asylum in Canada for whatever reason, whatever justification, yes, you can come. I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but I'm just telling you that it's better for you to have a plan laid out, so that when you come into Canada and there's no housing for you, you have your backup plans and you will not end up on the street and probably in the morgue because you are in a frigid temperature that is not palatable with your body. So now let's look at what is government actually doing about this situation in Canada.
For crying out loud, the airport's in our backyard. We get among the highest number of asylum seekers.
What we need to do is get the feds to step up with the asylum seekers. You know, when they're here, we're taking care of them.
So I remember Asylum represented that city of Mississauga. She complained bitterly that that particular refugee camp where 2 people lost their lives in the last 6 months, that they are overwhelmed in terms of people, that they are running at 400% capacity. Imagine the place that is supposed to be running at 100%. So there are like a lot more people than they expected in that refugee camp. So the lady was trying to plead with the federal government to actually do something about that. And I remember the Prime Minister saying that they are going to provide, up to $360 million for all these provinces, for them to get accommodation, to get more resources in order for them to take care of these refugees that come into this country. And I remember last week also, Quebec government, they were in the news, they were complaining bitterly because majority of these people that comes into Canada, a huge part of them coming from Quebec. Some of them, it is when they land in Quebec that they find their way to other provinces like Ontario. But majority of them, they come in from Quebec. So Quebec government is complaining bitterly that they do not have the resources to take care of this refugee claimants that end up settling in Quebec. And they were also pleading with the government of Canada to actually, the federal government rather, to actually do something about this so that they can actually take care of this refugee claimant. So everything falls back to the table of the federal government, Justin Trudeau. They should actually do more for these asylum seekers. Once again, since Canada is coming out to say that we are the big father out there, we're welcoming people to come into Canada. If you want to file asylum, either you're filing asylum because your life is under threat, or because of your sexual orientation, whatever the case is, you come into Canada. Canada should do more in terms of that, providing accommodation for them. Because once again, it will smear our image out there if people come into Canada to come and file asylum and end up paying with their lives. All right, I hope you actually understood the video that I brought for you today. And this video is more or less telling people out there that are coming into Canada, either you're coming in on a visitor study, work visa, whatever, and you probably want to change to file, you want to change your status and file asylum in Canada. What I'm just telling you out there, that it's not bad for you to file asylum if you have a moral justification and you have everything laid out, but have your backup plans in terms of accommodation, in terms of feeding and every other thing. Because presently in Canada now, the government is overstretched, resources are overstretched, and some people are actually paying with their life. Some are even ending up in the hospital because of sickness, because the shelters that we have all around Canada, not only in Mississauga alone, in Toronto, in Quebec, everywhere, they are running at high capacity and doesn't really make sense. Okay, viewers, once again, with the soul of Delphina and Gigi, may her soul rest in perfect peace. The Nigerian man that died last year, may his soul rest in peace. Please, if you enjoyed the video, smash on the likes button, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell, so that anytime I drop a video, you always be among the first to get it. Till I see you in my next video, peace out. Don't forget, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber.